That's what beautiful.
All right. Welcome to the Candelabra live stream of Sentinels of the Multiverse. As always, the goal of these streams is to show you how to play the game, cover some basic strategy that can help you win, hopefully. The game itself does include a tutorial that covers the basics, but we will do our best to explain what we're doing and when we do it. My name is Jeremy.
My name is John.
And that's John. On Twitter, I'm Mr. J Handle, and my cohort here is Migrant P. So if you want to follow us on there, and the company is Candelabra, at Candelabra, and of course, Sentinels of the Multiverse is made by the wonderful Greater Than Games, which is GT Games LLC on Twitter. Now, depending on how long it takes for us to win, which we have done every time we've done this, or lose, which we very well might do tonight, we will play more than one full game in a session, although they've been getting longer each time, but we'll have to see what happens with Dawn. We do expect the sessions to last about an hour and a half. Last week was like 2 hours and 15 minutes, which was a bit on the long side. Anyhow, Sentinels of the Multiverse is currently available for iPad and Android tablets, but PC and Mac are coming soon. Please visit our Greenlight page to give us an upvote. You can find that on sentinelsdigital.com. If you look up in the corner, it'll tell you where to go. During this stream, we are playing on a build of what is version 1.1 of the app, which will actually be available for tablets very shortly. Possibly
hopefully
as soon
this
as,
week.
Yeah, hopefully this week. That's the goal. And I guess without further ado, we can get started.
Yeah.
So as you people rightfully guessed, we are playing against Citizen Dawn. That is the only villain that we have not played against this week, on these streams.
Stock villain.
The only stock villain, yes, the only stock villain that we have not played against. And we will be playing a team made up of a couple of variant cards this week. We're going to be playing Rook City Wraith, Joink, as well as everybody's favorite, the Super Scientific Tachyon.
Now, I wonder if people could let us know in the chat how many people have received their copy of the Super Scientific Tachyon.
Is everybody getting them? Yeah, we've been seeing a bunch of shares on Twitter that they've been going out, and
I saw that Paul in the forums today said that the last of the international ones were sent out this morning.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So they should be all at least on their way.
Very cool.
To the magic of the United States Postal Service. Runway has his.
All right, so who else would you guys like to see on this team? We've got Rook City Wraith, and we've got Super Scientific Tachyon.
That's right.
We will take any of the other two, any of the other 8 heroes will make up the additional 2 that will go onto this team. We're going to do a team of 4.
Let's hear your votes. Enter in who you want to see, and we'll take the most popular or the most interesting votes if you have a reason for your vote.
And actually, as long as they're saying that, I will go ahead and put in the final environment, which we have not yet played in, which is, of course, the wonderful Funny Bunny, the wonderful city of Megalopolis.
There's some questions in the forum about how Funny Bunny fits into the Sentinels universe, and I'm afraid we're not going to be able to tell you that just now.
Not right away. You have to wait for that. And by wait, I mean it doesn't mean anything.
We have a vote for Fanatic, a vote for Ra.
I'm a fan of Fanatic.
Tempest, always good, especially against all the citizens.
Yes.
2 votes for Fanatic.
2 for Fanatic. All right, that's cool. Let's put Fanatic in there just for the moment. We could go with an all-lady game.
All female.
We could drop Visionary in there, and it could be all the ladies versus Citizen Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Alternately, we could also drop in Young Legacy, which is also, so that would be instead of Visionary if we wanted to do an all-woman team.
You don't
Another
get to
Tachyon.
vote twice, Ronway. Or I mean Evil Dice Monkey.
Raw, because you don't want undercooked meat. Very nice.
And you were asking last time, Jeremy, you can actually choose your color if you go to your profile and pick your color. It's a thing.
Ah.
Yeah, so I chose that blue.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so Visionary and go for the all ladies.
Yeah.
Go women. Go women. Go women.
Let's do all ladies.
All right.
The single ladies, but they're not all single. So.
What about order? Obviously, that's always an important choice when you're playing Sentinels.
I feel like let's go with your haphazard order.
Haphazard.
Actually, it's really so. I did want to mention that the Rook City Wraith, if you want to bring up her power there, and this is one that you've mentioned you're not really sure how to use. What's really good about this power is if she goes first, and she reveals an environment card that's good for you, all the heroes get to benefit from it. Something like Close Quarters Combat, right? Or Obsidian Field, or something like that. So she can basically try to pick out the good cards in the environment, the ones that are good for the heroes,
right?
And get them into play. So she's good to go first.
All right, excellent.
As far
choice.
Away from the environment turn, I guess, if possible.
Yep. Then we've got Fanatic, who is sort of the damage dealer, the beating herself about the chest and head damage dealer. We've got Super Scientific Tachyon, and obviously we were just talking about like all the people who've gotten this card, but how this differs from regular Tachyon is her experiment power. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the experiment power, John?
Yes, this power is, I guess, sort of similar to Rook City Wraith in that it almost has a random effect. In that, you're looking at the bottom two cards of a deck, and you don't know what's going to happen. You might end up actually, playing cards that you didn't want to play. For instance, suppose, Wraith is all set up and Super Scientific Tachyon decides to reveal the bottom two cards of the Wraith deck and their inventory barrage. Then the Wraith might not enjoy that. So there's one of the interesting things you can do with this card is sort of, if you know the decks really well, you'll have an idea of what are the odds that two of the cards are going to share a keyword, and even what keyword. So if you know Tachyon's deck, she has a lot of one-shots, a lot of burst cards, so there's a pretty good chance that she's going to do something good on herself, but it also can work really good on other heroes too.
Yeah. All right, and then finally we have Visionary. Coughing again.
Yeah, and actually the Visionary, she could help control the villain deck potentially, and Tachyon could experiment on the villain deck and do things that we know, because the Visionary can often put cards in the bottom of the villain or environment decks.
Aha. So yeah, this is actually a pretty interesting matchup with Visionary and Super Scientific Tachyon in play. All right. We're 10 minutes in. We've picked our roster. We know who we're fighting. We know where we're fighting them. It's time to get started.
All right. So who's going to play who also?
Oh, good question. I like playing Fanatic.
Okay.
I can try to play Visionary if you want to do the two. If you
I'll
want to
take
do
the two promos.
Do the promos. All right.
Okay.
All right. The world belongs to the citizens of the sun.
Preliminary investigations have shown this will be a tough fight, and that is accurate. All right, we have Citizen Autumn, who's going to destroy ongoings. That's fine. Citizen Summer likes to shoot with fire. Citizen Tears, I don't like because you get cards discarded a lot.
Yep.
And that's fine on the opening turn if we can get rid of it. Then Citizen Dawn hits us. I don't know.
Usually with these, I just kind of go randomly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this one, too, is destroy all ongoing cards. This one doesn't actually do anything.
Oh, right, yeah.
All right, most cards in play.
I'd say Fanatic should take one of them, and the Wraith could take the other.
Yeah, whenever there's damage to be dealt and Fanatic is in play, I usually do that, especially early in the game, on the assumption that Fanatic is going to get Wrathful Retribution.
Yeah. Now everyone's going to get to discard a card.
All right, so we'll start with the Wraith.
The order we want, but let's discard Suit Yourself. We're not going to want that card. I mean, I don't usually use Trust Fund either, but yeah.
I find that I'm using Trust Fund more and more, actually, now that I'm getting used to a little bit more deck management stuff. All right, so let's see. We got Absolution, Divine Sacrifice. Yeah, I'm probably either going to get rid of Divine Sacrifice or Zealous Offense. Oh, well, maybe not Zealous Offense. We'll get rid of Divine Sacrifice. All right, Tachyon.
Let's discard that accelerated assault.
Really basic damage dealer.
Yeah, and it's a burst card. So we want as
Right,
many
but it's a
of those
burst, so you
want to,
yeah,
as we can.
exactly. All right, and Visionary. I'm definitely going to keep Brain Burn if we're playing against Dawn. Because one of the things, so we actually didn't go over this. Let's go over this. What happens with Citizen Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
So Citizen Dawn tends to bring up lots of minions to fight for her, aka citizens. But she has some slightly different flip mechanics than any of the villains that we've played against so far. Baron Blade, it's you knock him all the way down, he flips, you knock him all the way down again. Omnitron flips each turn, flip, 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 flip. Voss, you get him down to no minions, he's naked, and then he has to enter the battle on his own. Citizen Dawn is completely different. Tell me how Citizen Dawn is different, John.
Yeah, so at the start, she starts out with a bunch of citizens, but then she's only going to flip if you kill enough citizens. And that's 5 or more in the trash. She's going to flip. And she can only flip that way once per game. And on the other side, she's actually consumed with the power of the sun. And she's immune to damage. And basically, you have to let more citizens come out so that she'll flip back, or you can't win, right? Unless, there are cases where you can win, but they're very rare. So you generally with Dawn, you either want to make sure she doesn't flip, so try to keep some of the sort of less terrible citizens in play, keep them out of the trash, or if she flips, you want to sort of just get the citizens out, try to sort of turtle up until you can get her to flip back.
Exactly.
With the Visionary and with the Wraith, there's a pretty good chance that we can make sure that she doesn't flip ever.
Yeah, especially with that Brain Burn, because we can just wail on these citizens for a while. I can throw that Brain Burn out, get that trash emptied, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to where we were. All right, so Citizen Tears is forcing everyone to discard.
Sorry.
Yeah, on her head. There it is. Very nice. All right, so we're definitely keeping Brain Burn. Let's see, Demoralization is sort of a generalized damage dealer. That's a deeper damage dealer. I'm going to try and play the Visionary as an actual deck manipulator and not as a damage dealer, which is the way that I usually do it. So I think I'll probably get rid of, since we're playing against Dawn, I'm going to get rid of the one large damage dealer and keep the broad but light damage dealer.
Sure. So here's Rook Wraith. She looks cool, right? She's almost like the Terminator.
Nice.
And Mkatir noticed the color names in the choosing a character. That's something that's new. It won't be in the initial update on iOS, but it will be on Android, and then we'll get it out for iOS right away as well. So that's a nice little touch. I agree. So impromptu invention, there's no reason to not do that.
Yep. We get a combat stance.
Yeah, so we should start. We should go meanwhile and sort of decide what we're going to do. So if we look at the citizens that are in play right now, I think, Citizen, she destroys ongoing cards. So we could try to make sure that the lowest HP hero doesn't have any ongoing cards, right?
Yeah.
So she can stick around. Citizen Summer does a bunch of damage. That's kind of annoying. Citizen Tears, we have to kill her. Discarding our cards is the worst.
Yep. Agreed.
And Return with the Dawn is also doesn't do anything right now until we kill someone, but it's going to happen, right? If we kill someone. So do we have any ongoing destruction between anyone right now? We take a look at our hero's hands.
Well, now hold on. We could, if we really wanted to, depending on how much damage we can get out, we could kill all 3 of these citizens, then Brain Burn the trash, and then Return with the Dawn won't have anything to do.
I don't know if we can do that fast.
Yeah, probably not. But just wanted to say that was something we could try to do.
Well, so let's see. Do we have any ongoing destruction in our hands? So not here. Yeah. So not there.
Fanatic does not.
Not there.
Tachyon does not.
And not there. So we're not going to be able to get rid of that anyways. I guess we could Brain Burn to get rid of whoever we can.
Yeah.
Citizen Summer and Citizen Tears, we probably have a chance of killing a couple of them. So, yeah, because if the Wraith gets out micro-targeting computer, she could just straight up kill Citizen Tiers. And then Fanatic and Tachyon can combine to take down Citizen Summer. And then Brain Burn. How about that?
That works for me. Are you following the chat at all? Because there has been some conversation about what we could do.
Yeah, so people are chatting about, obviously, impromptu invention. The eyepiece is great, but I would like to get rid of Citizen Tiers. So,
all right, so what are we doing? Micro-targeting?
Yeah, micro-targeting so that we can do more damage with that Raider Ordnance that we have. And let's put that into play.
All right, and then play Razor Ordnance?
Yeah, and then use Razor Ordnance. So we're not going to use the base power this turn, but we might later. That's going to be 5 damage to Citizen Tiers. Pow.
Yeah, I agree, Mercator.
Oh, and the Hare's Grappling Hook. Perfect. So that can take care of the Return with the Dawn next time.
Devastating Aurora. No good.
Yeah, that is a badness. So early in the game, I mean, that's the time when you'd rather it get played.
True. All right, so
I will blame you when Dawn plays that card. Devastating Aurora and Katir is DA.
All right, so we got
also known as the card.
The card. So we've got Zealous Offense, Holy Nova, and Absolution. Zealous Offense, at the start of your turn, select up to 2 non-character card targets. Those targets cannot deal damage until the start of your next turn. So this would be a way that we could sort of nerf Citizen Summer if we wanted to. Citizen Autumn can't do damage, so I'm probably going to hang on to that Zealous Offense for now.
Zealous Offense would get destroyed at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Because you can't deal 3 damage on your turn right now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You have to put it out later. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Fanatic deals 1 target, 1 radiant, and then we each regain. I'm just going to get Absolution out because...
I would suggest using that, and then Tachyon can kill Citizen Summer with Hypersonic Assault.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use Absolution.
Look at those damage types. They're so glowy and colorful.
I always choose Radiant whenever I have the choice to choose Radiant because that's just the way that I do it.
Because that's how Fanatic rolls.
Because I like that shing wah.
I'm not hearing any sound from the game. I don't know if I'm supposed to. Probably not.
Yeah, you wouldn't through the Skype, unfortunately.
Are you guys hearing sound from the game? You can let us know in the chat. And yeah, so let's push those limits and assault those hypersonics. And so this card is great because it's actually going to prevent Citizen Dawn from dealing damage on her turn too. And we can just choose them one at a time, or we could do choose for me if we want. So yeah, Citizen Dawn will not be able to deal damage. And you can always, if you don't remember things like that, you can just click on the lightning bolt up at the top, and it will let you know what's going on. We've also got to mention there about Citizen Dawn. If you don't remember if she got flipped in the game, I mean that can happen. Say if you're playing and then you leave and you pick up the game the next day and continue, you'll probably want to know that. So people can hear sound. So
awesome.
If you're not hearing sound, try just reloading the page is all we can suggest because it is working sort of in the technical end. All right, so yeah, so we're going to use Tachyon's power. What are we going to do? I guess just Tachyon, I think. I know it's a boring play, but it's a pretty high percentage play. And look at that! So let's play Nimble Strike first.
Yeah.
And that's going to get into the trash so that we get 1 more point of damage for the other card.
Who do you want to hit?
So actually, who is the lowest HP? Who's going to be the lowest HP, probably? It's going to be the Wraith.
Wraith.
And she doesn't have any ongoings. So I don't really
just
care.
Equipment.
Yeah, and how many burst cards does Tachyon have? I guess if we can get...
Right now, I think just 1, yeah.
Just 1, so there's going to be 2. She's not going to be able to kill Citizen Autumn. So let's just hit Citizen Dawn.
All right.
And we get a Sucker Punch. And then the Lightspeed Barrage goes off. It doesn't really do an awesomeness, but it still does 2 damage, and it's good to do it to Dawn. Of course, I probably shouldn't answer people's questions in chat if I want a speedy response. especially if they can't hear me, I probably shouldn't say out loud to refresh the page.
Oh, more buffering. All right, so as we discussed, we could brain burn to get those 2 citizens out of there. Now, remember, Dawn is going to flip if there are 5 or more citizens in the trash. So if we get rid of 2, she's already 2/5 of the way there. So if we get rid of those...
Yeah, I feel like we're going to be ahead of the game if we can get rid of those.
Agreed. So let's go ahead and do that. Oop.
And plus, Return with the Dawn is going to put one of them right back out if we don't.
Yep.
So, and for 2 damage, that's a good deal.
All right. So now Visionary's power is to draw 2 cards and then discard one of them.
Well, choose a player to do that.
Yeah, so, and I can choose any one of the heroes to do that. So let's take a look real quick. So where did
especially
Tachyon...
in the early game, I look around and see, is there anyone who doesn't really have a card they want to play and help them out? The Wraith is, I think she's good. She would be happy to play Combat Stance or Grappling Hook.
Yeah, I mean, Fanatic could use something, but Zealous Offense isn't going to be too bad of a play this time.
Well, is there going to be people to use it on? I guess you could always Holy Nova, too. So
Yeah. So, and it looks like Tachyon's got...
I mean, Tachyon is always happy to get that power.
Yeah, but with only Demoralization and Precognition in play, I think... I tend to go by quantity in this case rather than quality. I'd rather see her get at least one more card out.
Maybe
so
we'll
another
get
Precognition
in there, and you never know. Maybe, well, I guess not. But we do have Precognition, which is awesome. So that's two turns we can control the villain deck.
Yeah. Now this would be the situation where I would probably normally I'd get rid of one of these Precognitions, but I'm not going to in this case. I'm going to play against my type, and I'm going to get rid of. Actually, I think I'm going to get rid of Demoralization because Psychic Maelstrom is a better damage dealer than Demoralization. So depending on how many cards are out, but still.
If you're asking a question, the answer is always Tachyon.
All right, and now we are into the environment turn. Hostage situation.
Oh, the worst. And we don't have any way to get rid of it. Yep. So it's just we're just gonna have to deal with what happens.
All right, Luminous Leadership, not a terrible card for us to get in our current situation.
Yeah, I mean, there could be worse things. So just a whole lot of nothing, really, for Dawn's turn. She couldn't even deal her 2 damage. So.
Yep.
All right, so, yeah, so actually in this case, so I'm thinking that maybe we want to look at the environment instead of dealing damage. It is 5 damage. It's hard to turn that down. We could kill Citizen Autumn immediately, but she would just come out immediately because of Return with the Dawn.
Yeah, and we don't have any way to burn that because we can't play Grappling Hook.
Yeah, so I would just say we could either do 5 damage to Dawn or look at the environment. So the chat is saying hit Dawn.
Yeah, I agree, Silverleaf, with that Psychic Maelstrom. Like, it's the same issue I oftentimes have with Tempest, which is, his base power is to deal 1 damage to everything hostile, essentially.
Right.
And so there are absolutely times where you don't want to kill those last 3 citizens right now who all have 1 hit point left, because now you're going to be screwed. So
or the Kraken, who you're relying on to do something.
Yep.
Yeah, so actually, I would probably lean towards hitting Dawn, but let's use the Wraith's power because we picked her, so let's use her.
Yeah, we haven't done it yet.
So she's using Sleuth. So she reveals the top card of the environment deck. And this is a terrible card. So the Impending Casualty card is a bad one. So it's easy to get rid of if it comes out on the environment turn. You just discard a card to destroy it. But if it's in play,
you have to wait till the end of the environment turn.
You have to destroy an ongoing card, and then it deals you psychic damage. So let's put that in the trash.
Trash it.
That's true. Sonvar says if you get Rooftop Combat, it destroys all the other environment cards, so that could have gotten rid of the hostage situation. So there's the Wraith power, especially with certain environments, is very good. Imagine in Ruins of Atlantis, it has all those crazy cards that do really good things.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty handy. So,
all right. So we have nothing to do other than damage. As always, I choose Radiant.
You may as well hit Dawn because Autumn is just gonna.
And we are undaunted.
Trash. That's right. We did trash it. We didn't want to play that. All right, and Tachyon. We don't actually get to play 2 cards, so that sucks. So I think we're just gonna. Well, it's only 2 damage, and we get to draw 2 more cards. So let's deal the damage.
Yeah,
There's
more
no
cards.
+1s on it.
More cards, more better.
And actually, we can put cards into play though, which is what Super Scientific Tachyon does. So why don't we do that? And we might be able to get rid of Luminous Leadership and Return with the Dawn or other things. So let's do that on Tachyon again. I mean, we could do it on the Wraith and maybe get... oh, sweet, Fleet of Foot. What a great card. Fleet of Foot allows all the players to draw a card, and then you may play a card, which we can't, but at least we all get to draw a card.
All right, so we got another grappling hook, so that's awesome.
Good.
Prayer of Desperation for Fanatic, which is drawing a bunch of cards. Another Fleet of Foot from Tachyon for next turn.
We can't use the play a card part of Fleet of Foot because of Hostage Situation.
And it's not as good as Brain Burn, but we did just get Suggestion for Visionary, which is another way for us to manipulate that villain trash.
Exactly. And now we have Lightspeed Barrage. Let's just put it on Dawn as well. Just keep knocking her down a bit. So yeah, so there's a question about the original print run of Rook City Wraith. It was misprinted, and it was Slueth.
Yeah.
Slueth, which is not a spelling that is correct.
So speaking of Sentinels trivia, we did not mention this. We failed to mention this, but we did mention that you guys are going to help us pick the characters this week. But we are actually also hoping to have a special guest on next week. Is that not right, John?
Yeah, we were hoping to bring in a special guest from the viewers of this week's stream, in fact. And hopefully you can see this and not getting too much buffering, but we'll go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, if you can hear us saying this, you are eligible to be our special guest next week. We're going to probably do a 3-player game, and we will each control, myself, John, and our special guest will each control one of the characters. So if you would like to be that person, keep watching this week. We're going to ask a trivia question later in the show, and the first correct answer, if they would like to, will get to be our special guest next week.
Yeah, so if you want your friends to maybe be a guest, you should get them on the stream too.
In order to do so, you will need to have a Skype account. So make sure that is a thing.
Right. Evil Dice Monkey asked what got played off Fleet of Foot. Nothing got played because hero cards cannot be played. They can be put into play, so because of Hostage Situation. So now Visionary gets to use a power.
Yep, and so... as of this turn now, everybody's got pretty full hands.
Yeah, because no one played. They just drew.
No one played anything. So
Tachyon, let her discard a card. She's already played 2 Lightspeed Barrages that were 2 damage and 3 damage. Supersonic Response and Sonic Vortex.
All right, what do you want to get rid of?
Let's get rid of Sucker Punch if we still have it. Yeah. We're not going to want that.
Yeah, I never use Sucker Punch.
So what I was alluding to when we were setting up, or when we were talking about Dawn, is you can kill Dawn with Sucker Punch if she has 2 or less hit points on the other side.
Mm-hmm. All right. Shall we?
Yes. We super shall. And we have a million cards.
Super shall. So. All right.
So for the Wraith, I'm going to say... Mega Computer, because I almost never want that. And
all right, so for Fanatic,
sometimes you want Mega Computer, but usually we have enough environment control going on in this game that we'll be fine.
Yeah, let's see, I've got 5 in the thing. I think I'm just gonna get rid of Undaunted because that's another one of those cards that I very rarely use.
Sure.
Tachyon.
Welcome, Fantaskippy, to the stream. We finally made it to one. Let's get rid of Supersonic Response.
All right, and finally for Visionary, well, we like Suggestion. We like both of those precognitions. Foresight is for her deck. I think of all of our looking into the futures, that's probably my least exciting one right now.
Yeah, especially with Tachyon, you almost, we want to have her using that power on Tachyon a lot.
Yeah,
so.
and I do want to keep a couple of these damage dealers just in case so that we have them. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Foresight.
And Citizen Dawn likes to get rid of her ongoing cards too. Oh, Cramped Quarters Combat gets played.
Nice.
So all damage gets changed to melee, and it's increased by 1.
All right, so this Luminous Leadership...
Unfortunate for the Wraith because it turns her damage into melee.
Yeah, before before her micro targeting computer has a chance to boost it.
Yeah, so Fnatic gets hit by Citizen Dawn, and Citizen Sweat is going to destroy an ongoing. It just automatically picked pushing the limits, which is actually fine. So...
Yep.
All right, so we probably want to get rid of Citizen Sweat because she's kills ongoing cards, and that's... I guess right now we don't have any, so it's not the worst, but we probably will want to have some.
Well, what about this Return with the Dawn?
Yeah, let's get rid of that so that we can safely... So let's see. So yeah, we got Combat Stance, Grappling Hook. Yeah, let's Grappling Hook on that Return with the Dawn because it's no fun.
Yeah, and then this way we can start killing away these citizens sort of with Wild Abandon, and we get another Grappling Hook back,
good.
So we're
Tons
good to
of
go.
Ongoing environment management. And...
All right, so as we were just saying, her Razor Ordnance is only going to be able to do 3 projectile damage. Still a decent amount of damage, but it's not going to get boosted by the micro-targeting computer.
Yeah, it will get boosted by the environment by 1.
Right.
So I think Fanatic's probably... Between Fanatic and Tachyon, they've got Citizen Sweat. Like, Fanatic's going to do 3 damage... or 4 damage with her
base power, yeah.
Base power, and then Tachyon, as long as she can do 1. Let's take a look at what Tachyon's got just to make sure we can do a damage. Yeah, we could do a Sonic Vortex. So, and maybe even pick up something a little more appropriate. So, during her turn.
All right.
So let's look at the environment. Oh wait, I'm actually If we pick it up, Rooftop Combat might destroy that card, which we kind of want. So let's just use Razor Ordnance. Well, we'll use Sleuth then.
Oh. You just said that you wanted to do it, and then, it's another Cramped Quarters Combat.
I didn't say do it.
Well, the way that you were talking, you were like, well, if we did that, it might destroy it, which is what we want. That was what you said. And I took that to mean that was a good thing. All right, so we've got another Cramped Quarters Combat.
Let's put it into play.
Yeah, if we put it into play...
It's going to be increasing damage for us, and then it goes away at the start of the environment turn. So
yeah,
that's actually super good. And... this is an opportunity for Jeremy to talk about how math works in Sentinels when it's time for you to use a power.
Yes, I will do that, most definitely. In fact, yes, so I am definitely going to smite the Transgressor. Because, all right, so let's talk about this for a minute. So Fanatic is going to smite the Transgressor. That is to deal 1 target, 2 melee damage, and I may use an additional power this turn. So this is a one-shot, so this is not using a power. Fanatic is about to become a damage-dealing monstrosity right now. So I'm going to play this card. Boom. We've got 2 melee damage. Who am I going to do this to? We're trying to get rid of Sweat, right?
I would say...
I might want to hold off on doing that and do that with... Hang on. I got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
You got this?
I got this. I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and do 4 damage to Dawn. So you can see here we got 2 melee damage, boosted by 1 from the first Cramped Quarters Combat, and boosted by another one by the second Cramped Quarters Combat. That brings us to 4.
Sandra asks how we're even throwing punches. It's actually, I don't know if you've seen Kill Bill, but they've all now been trained in the 1-inch punch. And that's what they're all just fighting 1 inch away from each other.
All right.
Doubly close.
So, part 2. It is now time to use the first of my 2 powers. I'm going to go ahead and use Absolution, which deals 3 of my choice of damage. Which
get turned into melee.
Which are all going to get turned into melee. I'm going to select Radiant anyway because I am tricky like that. And now I'm going to hit Citizen Sweat, which means that I'm going to do +1/+1, and it's going to get turned into melee. So Citizen Sweat, it's nice talking to you. Have a good walk. And then I get to use the second of my 2 powers, in which case I'm going to use Fanatic's base power, Exorcism, which allows her to do 1 melee and 1 radiant damage, a.k.a. 3 melee and 3 radiant, which turns into melee. So another 6 melee damage, which means I could take out Citizen Autumn at this point, and we could use...
just leave her, though.
Yeah, what does she do again?
Unless we can get rid of the trash, which we could. But
I can manipulate the trash with Visionary a bit.
Actually, yeah, we could put her on top of the trash with Suggestion, and then she's just like a dumb card instead of whatever crazy thing that Dawn might be playing.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. So 3 melee, then 3 radiant, transmuted to melee, boosted by 2, boom, and now Citizen Autumn is in the trash. And we're going to go ahead and use Visionary's Suggestion once we get to her to manipulate that trash a little bit. We get a Brutal Censure out.
Quite well.
Yeah, I don't know that we could have asked for it to go better in the early game at this point.
Yeah. All right, so Tachyon can only play 1 card now because Pushing the Limits got destroyed. But we have another Fleet of Foot, so let's play that. That allows us to play another card afterwards, so it's usually a good plan.
Yep, so we get a Utility Belt for Wraith. Zealous Offense for Fanatic. Another Sonic Vortex for Tachyon.
Yeah, so actually, Fanatic did all that damage on her own. We didn't even need Tachyon to help.
Yep.
All right, so I kind of wanted something that we could use to get Luminous Leadership into the trash, so then Visionary could like put Luminous Leadership on top of Dawn's deck or whatever. But I think that's okay. Why don't we play... What's over there in the left of her hand? I'm thinking Synaptic Interruption, but I'm going to see...
We got a quick insight.
Can I hit the Lightning Bolt and see if Dawn hit Tachyon this turn? She is not. Okay. So she would do extra damage if Dawn had hit her. Yeah, I mean, we would get 4 damage onto Dawn by playing Supersonic Response, which is a pretty good bonus for Tachyon. Or 5 damage to Sonic Vortex. Let's put a Synaptic Interruption. It's good. Actually, no, that's going to be... No, it's not going to be destroyed because she's not the lowest hit points. She's tied for the lowest. But we can...
She is not tied or anything for the lowest. Fanatic is the lowest.
Oh, right, Fanatic is the lowest. All right, let's do Synaptic Interruption then. Then I'm not worried about losing it. And if we lose it, it goes to the trash and it's a burst card, so whatever.
Yep.
So let's have Tachyon go, and let's experiment on who. I don't want to play Research Grant. I like Experiment better than Research Grant. If I was playing regular Tachyon, I would definitely play Research Grant. But
yeah, so here's what we got for Wraith. Still 2 grappling hooks. We got some throwing knives, utility belt. Fanatic, 2 zealous offenses, a brutal censure. Not too bad. And then Visionary, we've got all that deck management stuff going on.
Yeah, so why don't we experiment on one of the other heroes? I feel like there's some good chance that the Wraith, with what she's got in her hand, she's going to get more equipment out.
All right.
So let's experiment on the Wraith.
Oh, unfortunately, no.
Nothing worked with that experiment, so we're just going to discard a Stun Bolt and a Trust Fund. That happens.
It does happen. All right. So as discussed, what we're going to do with Visionary now is Suggestion.
Maybe we'll try Visionary as experiment target next time.
Yeah. So select 2 cards from the villain trash, put 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom of the villain deck. So this
Dawn is always going to be doing whatever we want.
Yeah, pretty much. So we can basically get both of those citizens out of the trash, which is awesome because that keeps Dawn from having a problem. I assume that's what we want to do. Yes.
Yeah, as long as we put Sweat on the bottom.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we'll get both of those out. We're going to put Autumn on the top of the deck, and then Sweat will go to the bottom. And now we are good to go. Wraith has too much balance in her deck, says Fantaskippy. All right, and now Visionary.
If it works with the Wraith, you get her set up really fast.
Yeah, that's true.
It has a high payoff.
All right, so should Visionary enlighten herself?
Well, she has to use it, and then I feel like you've got enough to do. Like, I would put it on Tachyon, because the Visionary has all, like, we basically just want to play precognitions and stuff all the time.
Yeah. All right, get rid of one of those research grants, right?
Unless there's a burst card we don't want.
Like you could get rid of an accelerated assault. It's a really basic damage dealer.
Yeah, I mean, the Sonic Vortex I would rather use for damage dealing at this point. So let's get rid of accelerated assault and get another burst in the trash.
And I've got another cerebral hemorrhage. So despite all the deck management she's doing, she is building up some damage dealers if we ever need them.
Yep. Can't draw cards. That's fine. We've got lots. And we can probably kill this traffic pileup. Actually, the Wraith can just take it out with a grappling hook if we want.
No. Citizen Autumn? I had no idea that was coming next.
What?
What? All right, who do we want to...
We need to make sure that we don't hit someone who's got an ongoing card in play because it's going to knock them down to be the lowest.
All right, so we've got Wraith, Tachyon, and Visionary. So we've got Wraith, no ongoings.
Yeah, so the Wraith is fine.
Tachyon has Synaptic Interruption, and Visionary has nothing. So hit Visionary? Or hit Wraith?
Yeah. Yeah, either the Wraith or the Visionary. I would just choose the Wraith because she can get hit points back a little easier. The Visionary tends to be a little squishy in a dying way.
Indeed. Actually, I don't know if anybody, just real quick, if anybody was listening to the Creator Cast, if you haven't listened to the Creator Cast, just do a search for Creator Cast. The guest for the last 2 weeks has been Christopher. And he was just talking about specifically what you just said, John. The fact that it's like, oh, why would I want to play Visionary? She's so squishy. She doesn't do much damage. It's like, yes, but once you learn how to use her, you know, she could be pretty powerful. So he was talking all about his design process and stuff like that. So if you're not familiar with the Creators Cast, I would recommend giving it a listen. And my reasoning is in no way shaped by the fact that I am going to be the guest for probably the next 2 weeks. I recorded it with them about a month ago, so hopefully that'll go up pretty soon.
Cool.
All right, so here we are, back to the Wraith.
So I was thinking instead of using grappling hook, I might want to put out a utility belt, and then I don't really care if I don't draw a card, basically, because I have lots, and I can start chipping away at the traffic pileup. We can like kill it normally. So I want to put out utility belt, which is a great card that let me use an extra power. And let's use the my sleuth first because a rooftop combat might come out.
Yep.
And it's a targeting innocence, and I don't like that card. That is a bad card that hits every hero target and then puts another terrible card into play. So let's put that in the trash.
All right, and then Razor Ordnance. Are we going to go after some more Dawn, or do we want to get rid of the traffic pileup?
Do we have does someone else have something to get rid of the traffic pileup, or just like?
I mean, aside from outright damage dealing.
Yeah, but does Tachyon doesn't have like her burst of speed, blinding speed at the moment?
No.
So yeah, let's just hit the traffic pileup so that at least we're going to get rid of it.
Alrighty.
And then as long as like I can do a Sonic Vortex with Tachyon, potentially, so like, you know, we could easily kill it.
All right, so let's take a look at this Zealous offense real quick. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not going to really help this time.
It's not, yeah. That traffic pilot doesn't deal any damage. Citizen Autumn doesn't deal any damage. So, yeah, that's not really worth it. Let's see. Brutal Censure. Deal some damage and draw a card.
But you can't draw a card.
Deal some damage and regain some HP.
That might actually be your best bet. It's Holy Nova.
Yeah, I concur. So let's do that. We'll keep chipping away at that traffic pile up. Get an HP back. And
then just choose.
Yeah, choose for me. So almost, at least in the enhanced edition or the basic game, whatever, it does not matter at all the order in which you regain HP.
Yeah. So we're going to be tweaking that in an update. I don't think it's in this update, but hopefully the next one where we'll do it automatically.
So there is no boosting in play, right?
There is not.
All right. So I'll go ahead and use Absolution.
Yeah, you could get traffic pileup down to 1, or that might be.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I guess I should have just grappling hooked it. Oh well. We end up using our actions to like get rid of it otherwise. And then let's see. So she still only gets to play 1 card, which is annoying. So let's use Sonic Vortex, and then at least we hit Susan Dawn as well.
All right. So I assume we have enough to hit all 3 of them, right?
Yep. Well, yeah.
We didn't check, but yeah, 7 burst cards in the trash.
Yeah. And let's hit Autumn, and then Dawn, and then that'll be it. We could hit Tachyon and then redirect it with Synaptic Interruption, but I'd rather save that. So, and then let's experiment.
Yeah, these days I tend to play a lot of random as well. What I do is I hit random. If I get 5 heroes, I hit advanced rules and I hit go. If I get 3 or 4, I have to see who they are before I decide if I'm going to play advanced rules. All right, so who are we going to experiment on?
Well, there's a suggestion to experiment on the Visionary, so let's try that.
All right.
Or we could experiment on Megalopolis.
All right, so we got a one-shot and an ongoing, so...
Yeah, so
there's precognition and telekinetic cocoon, which despite the fact that I am learning how to use Visionary, I still have yet to find a situation where I would want to use telekinetic cocoon.
Well, basically, you need a little bit of prep. You want to put it into play when you've got Demoralizing Presence and things like Twist the Ether and Rest the Mind out. So then she can use those cards without hurting herself. And she can just stay in her cocoon and be doing damage all the time, every turn. And drawing a whole bunch of cards. Like, so she'll draw 2 cards a turn, then she can come out of it and start doing crazy things. So
interesting. All right, so here we are. Let's take a look here. Precognition. I think that this is probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do a precognition here because this is going to let me take a look at that villain deck and stack it a little bit in our favor.
That's right, because we don't know right now, right?
At this point, Citizen Autumn was the last thing that we stacked there. All right, so what have we got? We got Citizen Blood, which is at the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the lowest HP 1 melee damage, and then if Citizen Sweat is in play, other bad stuff happens, and if Citizen Tears is in play, other bad stuff happens. Then we've got Citizen Winter, which is everybody 2 cold damage, which I hate.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I hate that. And then we got another Luminous Leadership.
I mean, I'd be okay with the Luminous Leadership, and because we can easily get rid of those with the grappling hooks.
Yeah, we've already got one in play, but I do think that that's probably... This card is the hero with the lowest HP 1 melee damage. Yeah.
I mean, if we can get all the citizens onto the bottom of her deck, then they're there.
Yeah. That's a good point. And so this was actually something we discussed with Christopher a bit. The wording of this, it says, the Visionary, select a card to put on the very bottom of the deck. And the reason why this is like this is because we needed a way to definitively say where you were putting cards. And we went back and forth with Christopher, and unfortunately we just could not find a better way to say this. So if anybody comes up with a better way to say it,
yeah, I mean, one thing we're thinking of is basically a different user interface for deciding this stuff, where you see the deck and then you can rearrange the cards where you want them to go. But the problem is that's a lot of work for a feature that isn't going to show up very often, and the value is sort of questionable. So,
all right, so I will once again remind everybody that we are going to be doing some trivia, and the first person to answer the trivia correctly will get to be on the live stream with us next week playing whichever character you would like to play. I'm going to even up the stakes. John and I had not discussed this beforehand.
Oh, yeah. I think we should each pick a character we want to play.
Exactly. So you have to have a Skype, and you have to be the first person to correctly answer the trivia question when we ask it, which is not right now. So
it'll be when Dawn flips, so it might not happen. We will ask it.
All right. So let's go ahead and let's put Winter on the very bottom.
Yeah. Keep Winter as far away as possible. And let's experiment on Citizen Dawn. No, wait.
All right, so
it wouldn't be. You could do that and then kill them right away, but I don't think that's a good
idea.
Yeah. Tachyon. Tachyon wants to get blinding speed so we can help control the environment.
All right, and we got a Lightspeed Barrage. That's always a good card to have. And what do you want to get rid of? One of the research grants, or do you want to try for another burst?
Let's discard Supersonic Response.
Yeah, Visionary is very quickly moving away from deck management into
losing
damage mode. Police back up.
All right. The police are. The goal for this game is now to get the police to kill Citizen Dawn. All right, so they both are going to gain. Actually, no, only one of them is going to gain. So yeah, it doesn't matter the order. So just choose for me. The order does matter when the Scholar comes into the game at some point.
Right.
So. And so yeah, so whoever, again, could this end up, this won't become the lowest. So why don't we can have it hit Tachyon or the Visionary. Why don't we pick the Visionary? She's got some more defensive tools than Tachyon does. I guess they both have tools, but. And then the Wraith has the lowest, and she doesn't have any ongoings. I guess neither does. You can pick either one. Fantasy Skippy chooses Expat. You can't pick ones that aren't in the game, unfortunately. as you probably know.
All right, so are we going to grapple out one of those luminous leaderships?
I don't see why not. I don't like Citizen Autumn can stay as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Unless we want to do the same suggestion thing, which we could, because in the trash inner trash right now, check Citizen Dawn's trash there. Yeah, so we could get Citizen Autumn out and put Luminous Leadership back or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just ends up playing stupid Luminous Leadership cards.
All right, the trivia question is which is the worst character for you to pick for next week? And the answer is Wager Master. Nobody wins except me.
You fool. All right. Let's,
or not Wager Master. Who's the crazy guy?
Oh, guys.
Guys. Oh, boy. You guys are going to have fun. We can say this because we've been able to see a little bit of how Guys is going to work. Because we've been actually prepping Sentinel Sidekick in advance of the Wrath of the Cosmos, the Wrath of the Cosmos. I'm looking at the Wraith on the screen. The Wraith of the Cosmos
is the mini expansion where the Wraith flies around in a spaceship.
That's got to be a promo card. We got to tell Christopher. All right, so here we are. Are we going to raise our ordnance?
I want to use raise our ordnance first in case. Actually, no. The close quarter combat. Both of them already came out. So let's do the other one first. And pop around the scene. Oh yeah, let us put that in the trash. Also, one of the only cards with Legacy with the underpants on the outside.
Yes.
That's not the trivia question, but that was worth the promo card at launch. I think. Actually, Silverleaf, did you win that promo card? Maybe it was that one or a different one. Promo code, that is. And yeah, Citizen Dawn, let's just wail on her. This is going quite well.
It is.
What could possibly go wrong? So,
all right, so let's look at that Zealot's offense again. So again, we only have one card that actually can do any damage at all.
Yeah, it's a good card, but you could put it on the police. That would be silly. It's not actually a card. But yeah, the thing is, it's
Excuse
not.
Me. Sorry about
there's
that.
Nothing else that's dealing damage on the board. So
yeah,
I feel like Brutal Center is the only card you can play unless you want to draw more cards.
Yeah,
but...
I'll do Brutal Center. Yeah, so I am, in fact, coughing more this week, but I actually feel better. Last week, I was actually sick. This week, I'm just post-sick coughing. So, all right, and we don't have any boosters out, so I'll go ahead and use Absolution. And the answer is always Radiant. That is the answer. It's always Radiant. We need to put in a special option just for me that says, if Radiant is an option, always choose Radiant.
Oh, wait, did we want to get Citizen Autumn into the trash?
Tachyon
could do it.
Okay.
But I thought we were going to do that and then get her out. We don't have to.
Well, I don't know. Does she doesn't have a suggestion in right now.
Oh, you don't have a suggestion. I thought you had a couple.
No, I used it. I had 2 precognitions is what you're thinking of.
Okay, yeah. So let's not do that then.
All right. So I assume you want to get Pushing the Limits out.
Yeah, let's play Pushing the Limits, which is good to have out. And let's see. So I could, why don't I want to play Lightning Reflexes and then Quick Insight, which is a good combo because Quick Insight lets you draw more cards that you can then play with your second play from Lightning Reflexes.
Oh my and God. A HUD Goggles?
This turn is the best.
Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous.
Look at that draw from Quick Insight. How good is that?
All right, so what do you want to discard?
Let's get rid of a Research Grant. Even though it's not a burst, I don't want it. And what else do I have on the right?
You've got a Sonic Vortex and a Synaptic Interruption.
Yeah, the other Research Grant.
All right, and now I assume we're going to go for HUD Goggles.
Actually, no.
Oh, no, okay.
Fleet of Foot. So the reason for that is because you want Fleet of Foot's card play to finish and then Fleet of Foot go into the trash. But if you play another order, then it would sort of still be on the playing card stack.
You got another Lightning Reflexes if you want.
A very deep thing in Sentinels. Well, not really, but you can actually easily see it in the digital game where it's harder to see in the card game because often you just play things and put them in the trash right away, which isn't actually necessarily the right thing to do. So yeah, let's play HUD Goggles, and that's going to finish off Fleet of Foot, and then HUD Goggles provides us another card play.
So lightning reflexes.
Well, hang on. Let me see what I got.
And then quick insight.
How many cards do I have in the burst cards in the trash right now?
All right. In the trash, we've got 10.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, but it could get better.
Yeah, and the thing is, 2 of my Lightspeed barrages are already
in the trash. Yeah.
So yeah, let's play another lightning reflexes and another quick insight because I have that.
Yep.
I can do the exact same thing again. I can't probably.
Why does HUD goggles have to be limited?
Yeah, I know. And Nimble Strike, because that's good. It lets me draw another card. And a Sucker Punch. So yeah, let's go ahead and discard that Sucker Punch. And yeah, actually, I was thinking I would use Blinding Speed to get rid of the Luminous Leadership as my final thing. So let's discard Nimble Strike. And as the final card play, Blinding Speed on Luminous Leadership.
All right, so real quick, that got us up to 14 burst cards in her trash. She started that turn with 8, in case anyone was curious.
Yep. Oh, and some people in the chat were confirming that. So yeah, so that's quite a turn for Tachyon.
Yes, it was.
She is moving extremely fast. And now she's going to experiment.
All right, on herself?
So actually, we could... we don't have this in the game yet, but we are going to add a way for you to look and to see how many cards are left in your deck. Right now, we sort of have to do the math. She's got 7 cards there. So she's got 10 cards left in her deck.
Yeah, so we could actually figure out what they are if we looked at her trash and say, oh, here's all the cards that we know.
Let's experiment on Tachyon. We are going to add that into an update where you can actually see what's in your deck, but obviously not the order. Because that is actually information you can know. You would just have to look it up. Oh, and we discard. Well, there's a burst card, so that's another burst card.
So up to 15.
Yep. She almost doubled her burst card count on that turn. And we got some more cards we can't play, but they're discard fodder or whatever. Well, another person limits, we can just lose it and use it. So
lose it and use it.
So sorry, my turn took about 1 microsecond. I was trying to go faster, but Tachyon, he's not infinitely fast.
Yeah. All right. So, I think we have another precognition, right? Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and use another precognition, because there's nothing better than making sure Dawn can't do what she wants to do. Oh yes, I'm glad we did that.
Replying to the chat there. It's interesting. If Blinding Speed, if I had been made to play it, I would have to get rid of a beneficial card because it's not you may destroy. You have to destroy an ongoing environment card if you play it. So that's one of the things that the experiment can, even when it goes right, it can still go a little wrong. Oh my God, Devastating Roar. Put that on the top of the deck. No.
Yeah, so I would say, even though Channel Eclipse plays another card,
we can totally grappling hook that, so all she does is hit herself.
All right, great.
As long as the environment doesn't play a thing that prevents us from playing cards. But since Devastating Roar is on the bottom of the deck, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And Citizen Dare is so fabulous. I was playing with him in Tactics. He's cool. His miniature is awesome.
All right, and then I think since I'm now down to only 1 deck manipulation card, I'm actually going to go ahead and enlighten myself so that I can see. I got another Mass Levitation. Oh, and a Mental Divergence. That'll do. All right, so let's get rid of one of those Mass Levitations. I'll go ahead and double-click that real quick. So until the start of your next turn, reduce damage dealt by environment cards by 3. We don't need that. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Police backup are doing damage for us.
We want to increase that.
Yep. All right, and now we're back to the environment once again. 1 hour in. Plummeting Monorail.
Hey, so that's going to hit Dawn. Well, that's actually... So that's one of those things. Monorail sort of can help us and hurt us.
Yeah.
Actually, what it's going to do is it's going to hit Dawn, and then it's going to hit Tachyon, and Tachyon's going to Synaptic Interrupt it over to Dawn.
Very nice. All right, lowest HP. Doesn't matter, right?
Well...
Let's see.
No.
Tachyon does have ongoings.
Yeah. Give it to the Wraith, please.
Yeah, Wraith only has equipment, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so we'll do it to the Wraith.
Yeah, actually,
Excuse me.
some friends of mine were playing Sentinels against Voss the other night, and they had 2 plummeting monorails out, and they used them to beat Voss. Like, just let them keep hitting Voss until he died.
All right, it is 1 hour in. It is time for trivia. So here's your trivia question. Everybody prepare yourselves. The first person to correctly type the answer into the chat will be offered a chance to be on the show with us next week.
So if you don't want to be in the show, don't answer.
Yeah, if you don't want to be on the show, don't answer. And there you have it. So, as we all know, we have Legacy and we have Young Legacy. Paulina Parsons. In the line of legacies, what number is Paul Parsons, father of Paulina Parsons? You
did a good job asking that without tongue twistering yourself. Conway types the answer into the chat.
Curses! He thinks he has tricked me. First person to type the correct answer, Silverleaf79. Paul Parsons is the 8th in the line of legacies. Paulina, his daughter, is 9th. And, of course, America's greatest legacy would be 7th. Well played, Silverleaf. So stay tuned. We know who you are because we got you on Twitter and everything. So we'll ping you, and you can join us next week. That'll be awesome. I'm very excited.
Cool. And you're in the United Kingdom, so it'll be an international episode.
Oh, yeah. What time is it for you? Right now. What time is it right? It's 9 p.m. here in Cleveland. It's 10 p.m. for John in Halifax.
Well, we have to wait for the answer for 20 seconds. So.
Yes, exactly.
But yes, so that's exciting.
Yeah, sure you were, Dave. I believe you. Wink, wink.
So obviously we had Christopher on before as a designer guest. This will be our first, stream viewer guest. And so we're going to have sort of different kinds of guests once in a while. So keep an eye out for that.
It's 2 wow. It's 2 in the morning. Well, thank you for staying up so late with us. If you're I assume you're willing to do it again next week, so you'll just have to let us know. All right. John, Rook City Wraith, what would you like to do?
So does Tachyon have a blinding speed still?
I believe she did, yes, but let's make sure.
Oh, she ended up
no, it was an experiment. Yeah. She had to discard it, yeah.
So yeah, let's grappling hook that Channel the Eclipse so that it doesn't get to do any good things.
Where am I? Channel the Eclipse. All right.
Yeah, this is another thing we want to improve that selection so you don't only sort of see the bad things. But, there's only a few things for us to do, so let's go ahead and check out what the environment's going to bring us.
Sleuth it out.
Which has been actually pretty good for us. Yeah, that can go right in the trash.
Yep, see ya.
And so the thing with the Wraith, now the environment is more likely to give us something good on its turn as well. So let's go ahead and just hit Citizen Dawn, because the monorail is actually going to help us out, and we can keep putting out synaptic interruptions. Oh, wait, though, Tachyon isn't the highest anymore because Dawn hit her. Hey, Fanatic, hurt yourself.
Does she have...
She sure does. Sacrosanct Martyr.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite cards. It's my super favorite card when I've got a booster in play, like Legacy or something. But I'll take Sacrosanct Martyr. As long as, let me just double check that there's nothing else I want to get out. Yeah, I mean, Sanctifying Strike is going to actually regain an HP, so...
Yeah, we want Tachyon to be the highest. So that...
yeah, I don't particularly like Undaunted. Zealous Offense, again, I would love to see more damage dealers in play. I mean, we have Plummeting Monorail.
But we want it to deal damage.
Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. All right, Sacrosanct Martyr it is.
Trying to skip you one Zealous Offense, but it's not the right time.
And we'll go for the full. I'm actually going to start stacking Fanatic down to 0 because we've been playing for a while now. I'm going to hope that she's going to get her Wrathful Retribution out.
Finish it off.
And possibly even an Aegis of Resurrection. So
maybe we can experiment on Fanatic and see if that comes out.
Ha ha ha. Got another Sanctifying Strike. Everybody, man, Fantaskippy really likes that Zealous Offense.
He's zealous about it.
He's zealous about his offensiveness.
All right, so let's look at Tachyon and see if we need this extra play, or... Actually, no, because we want Tachyon to be the highest. Or we want her to be up there with Citizen's Dawn, so we don't want to deal the damage to her.
Yeah, so let's get rid of it.
Yeah, just to help make sure.
So, and plus we got HUD goggles, so we don't need it for the extra card play.
When you get damage dealing play, it's too late for Zealous. How does that even? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm talking about
No,
hostile damage dealers.
yeah, I'm not sure if Skippy is just making fun or what.
Okay.
Probably. So let's play Potion of Limits again. See you, Dave. We're up past Dave's bedtime.
All right, so what do you think? If it was me, I'd probably put out Accelerated Assault to do a little bit of damage, get one more burst in there, and then I would Lightspeed Barrage Dawn. But you probably have thought 3 turns ahead of me already.
Yeah, so I would put in Accelerated Assault, and then another Synaptic Interruption.
Do we want to? We don't yet, because we do one Dawn.
Yeah, you have to be able to hit them all.
So choose for me.
So that, because we want that monorail to do as much for us as it can.
Right. And then you said another Synaptic Interruption?
Yeah.
All right, so did we want to try that experiment on Fanatic?
Yeah, leaving villains in play that can't deal damage perfect against Dawn, Fantaskippy said, yes, but there are no cards that can do damage now. Like, Citizen Autumn doesn't do damage. So there's no point to playing it right now, is what I'm saying. If we had it earlier in the game and used it then, that would be fine. But so yeah, sorry, experiment, and we haven't experimented on Fanatic yet. So I feel like, what's the worst that could happen? End of days. Wait, don't do that.
we could always undo.
Yeah, but then we've learned about the game, and I don't know if we want to do that. Actually, the Visionary might be able to get rid of End of Days before it goes off. So let's just put...
Yeah, she has a mental divergence if we absolutely got screwed.
2 End of Days could go into play. Or there's only 1, maybe, I think.
No, there's definitely more than 1.
All right, so... Okay, so let's just do it on Tachyon. Hey!
Ooh, 2 1-shots right
Cool.
in. So do you have a choice of which one first?
It doesn't matter. So the problem is this is going to keep the monorail from doing damage, but there's nothing to do with that. And then let's Nimble Strike on Dawn. Yeah, so there could be 2 End of Days, and then...
Would the first End of Days remove the second End of Days?
Yeah, but we wouldn't be able to get rid of both of them, is what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one would get rid of the other one. The first one that goes off.
All right, so here we are, back to Dawn. We don't have anything that we want to use Mental Divergence on.
So she could actually do something. Can she do something new? We can't control her deck right now. For the first time,
we have Foresight, so I could play with
that's your deck.
My deck.
No, but I'm saying this is like the first turn in the game where we haven't decided what Dawn's going to play.
That's true.
Well, the second turn, I guess, since the very first turn, obviously, she decided. So that's pretty awesome.
And we have no citizens in the trash.
You could, Deco Projection, can't go wrong with that, to have that out. Who's the lowest HP? So Fanatic is going to lose an ongoing. Does you have any that you care about?
Sacrosanct Martyr is the only one.
If you care about it, then you could kill that citizen.
Yeah, why not? What is Cerebral Hemorrhage? That's 3 targets, 2 Psychic. Or Psychic Maelstrom is all targets.
I would use that because there are times when I don't know, whichever you want. You can pick. Like, I think there's times where you want that sort of wide blast, but most of the time, like, there's not more than 3 that you want to hit, right?
Yeah.
And so it's nice to sort of have that control.
All right, and now...
Wrong way, America's greatest setback.
Let's see if we can't get...
Were you enlightening? Or yourself?
Myself, yeah. Oh, good, we got a suggestion. Good. That's what I was hoping for,
get the citizens out of the trash. I mean, the trash there's only 1 citizen in the trash, I think, right now.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm going to go ahead and burn one of those Cerebral Hemorrhages because as long as I have 1, I'm pretty confident that we'll be all right. And a Brain Burn. Fantastic.
Cool. which we probably won't need to use, but
Yeah.
just in case.
This
And
might be
Hypersonic
this might be the easiest game that anyone's ever played against on. I'm just saying.
And hero cards cannot be played, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And the devastating Aurora.
Look at that, which is not so terrible.
All right, so
choose
all
farming doesn't matter in this
ongoings.
case. I mean, we actually don't have that much stuff out. The Wraith has like 2 cards.
So this is where I say, see, we should have gone for the Fanatic experiment, because End of Days would have done the same thing. Except that, of course, Fanatic would have gotten to keep out Absolution.
And yeah, so these guys go away. And then she can't deal damage. So this is actually fine because like when the heroes and the villains both have nothing, I feel like the heroes sort of have an edge.
Yeah.
Especially since we have so many cards in our hand.
Yeah.
So what do we even have? Yeah, we're all at such close HP. I mean, I could put out smoke bombs. But actually, why don't we put out stun bolt?
Yeah, I was going to say, anything that can keep chipping away at her.
Chipping away and reducing the damage that she deals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could choose the environment thing here. But let's just hit Dawn with the stun bolt, I think. That's a pretty decent move. And yeah, we exactly. Blue Darky mentions we can play cards now on the plus side. So,
Yep.
Which we couldn't before.
Good point.
All right. So what do you got for us, Fanatic?
All right.
It's a blank slate.
Yeah. Zealous offense, right?
Well, so look at Zealous offense. So they were saying that, right. So you actually, when you play it, it's sort of a predictive card because at the start of your turn, you choose that.
Right.
So you can't put it out now because you would lose it, but I get what they were saying. I didn't realize that you don't choose those targets until your next turn.
I see.
So, yeah, so it's actually it is pretty great.
All right, and Undaunted we already talked about.
Preventing damage.
I mean, yes, we could prevent damage, but who wants to prevent damage to Fanatic? I mean, I like drawing a card.
Yeah, especially since you don't actually have a lot that you want to play.
Yeah,
so.
and honestly, since she's already 4 under, even gaining 1 HP is not going to mess up our who's got the highest, who's got the lowest. So I'll go ahead and do that. Get a card, another Prayer of Desperation, wonderful, and gain an HP. And now we'll go ahead and pound on Dawn a little bit more. Melee, and the answer is always Radiant.
And she's down to 31.
Good, there we go.
Sweet.
There's Absolution. Excellent.
All right. So, how many burst cards are in my trash? 19. Look at that. All right, let's go ahead and play HUD Goggles because there's no reason not to.
So, real quick, I just wanted to mention, who in the chat knows how many cards are in every deck? Anybody? I'll let you think about that for a minute. So, there are 33 cards in Tachyon's trash right now. And when you run out of cards in your deck, what happens is your trash gets shuffled, and that becomes your deck.
And there's 6 in play?
So if there's 33 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
or 6 in hand. Sorry.
In hand.
How many are left in the deck?
How many are left in the deck?
All right, well, we're going to play HUD Goggles.
40, yep, that is correct.
So we don't want to make Tachyon go through her thing until we play that Lightspeed Barrage.
Exactly.
And
so HUD Goggles is in play.
And actually, this is the edge case that we actually fixed. There was some discussion on the forums about what happens when you experiment on a deck that has 1 card. And it used to be that it would just do nothing, but now it actually reveals the 1 card and then puts it back. Or it discards it, sorry. So, does anyone know what card is in Tachyon's deck?
we could work it out. Let's see.
Well,
trash.
I don't.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
You know the card counts of every card in Tachyon's deck?
I don't, but I have the deck. I have the decks right here. I can pull it open and find out.
I think this. No, we don't need to bog the stream down with doing that.
All right, so what are we doing?
I feel like I want to Lightspeed Barrage.
I feel like that is your play here.
Because I don't want my. I guess yeah, you generally don't get forced to draw, but I'm gonna Lightspeed Barrage. Get her down. We'll kill her.
Boom.
19
19.
She's down to 12. And then let's experiment on... Who? Who shall we experiment on? Not Citizen Dawn. I kind of want to do the Wraith.
All right.
So let's do that.
Yeah, she has lots of equipment. And there it
Yay!
is.
Oh, check that out.
That
That's
is an
awesome.
excellent Wraith experiment. Get micro-targeted computer and
Throwing knives.
throwing knives out, which means, and this is, I mean, you know, especially against Citizen Dawn under normal circumstances, this is an awesome combo to have because that's basically 9 damage in a single turn.
Now you want us to experiment on Fanatic.
Zealous offense. All right. So we've got 6 cards in there, but only one of them is a citizen, and she's only got 12 HP. So I feel like this is when you start to...
There's a question in the chat about, do you have to draw? You do not have to draw. You can skip it. You can actually skip it in the app. There's an option that you can toggle. So the game will automatically draw cards when it's safe to do so. But if you change that option, it will ask you every time. So you can skip it if you want, but most of the time you don't. So take a look at that, James D. Lamb. In the options, if you want that control, you've got it.
Yeah, and so...
and it won't automatically draw if it'll hurt you, or if, like with Omnitron, or if it would reshuffle your trash.
Yeah, and so that's where I was going to mention is that... I was going to mention exactly what you just said. But so like a good example of that is like when Omnitron has...
Right.
What is it? Interpolation Beam?
That's right.
In play. That will damage you if you draw a card. In that case, it will ask you flat out, do you want to draw a card right now? And you have the option of saying yes or no. So, all right. There is literally nothing in the environment, nothing in Dawn. So getting Mental Divergence out.
How many citizens are in the...
trash?
Yeah.
1.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to wail on her.
Yeah. Like, you could Mind Spike, or...
Yeah, I kind of just want to... Or I guess we could suggest... Well, no, there's no real reason to.
Well, what's in there? Well, just make sure that she doesn't do anything bad. She plays, like, Luminous Leadership or something, right? Like...
Yeah, that's true. We could just get Citizen Autumn in.
Yeah, I would rather put in Luminous Leadership. It's going to heal her for 1.
All right, let's do it.
It's actually not even going to heal her because it happens at the start of the turn.
All right, so we'll pick... What do you want to pick? A Luminous Leadership and a Citizen Autumn and put Autumn on the bottom? Or no, Devastating Aurora on the bottom.
Yeah, let's make sure that never happens. Oh, yeah. And then Leadership on the top. Put something bad on the top.
All right. Does anybody need a Visionary? Would you like Visionary to do Tachyon and reshuffle her? Probably not. Not that
yeah, I
necessarily
mean,
matters.
there's nothing that she... I wouldn't mind the reshuffle and getting... I mean, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter now. The game's over.
Yeah. All right.
It's all a formality at this point.
Who heard the shuffle sound? There it is. All right, Tachyon.
Oh, wait, we can keep Sucker Punch and maybe we'll get to use it. Discard Accelerated Assault.
Excuse me. All right.
So this game has gone pretty well.
Yeah, it has. I was convinced that this was going to be the week that we were going to...
Oh, yeah. Last week was like definitely like sort of close, and then we just sort of absolute zero took it away.
Yep. All
so
right.
yeah,
Highest HP.
She's just going to hit for 2. Actually, for 1 because of
Stunbolt. So Wraith.
Yeah, we're going to try to Sucker Punch Dawn. That's going to be our plan here. So.
All right, so we need to get her down to 2 in 2 turns.
So put out a Utility Belt. And hit her with Stunbolt and Throwing Knives. And you can hit Fanatic too if you want. And the monorail. Doesn't matter.
Why not? Monorail. And actually, this is one of those things that we haven't talked about on this particular one. So whenever you've got hostile targets in play, that's all you're going to see in this place. But that show all targets button will always bring up, because you can always hit any target in the game. That is...
Not always.
Well, not always. But whenever it says deal damage, and not like deal damage to a hostile target, or deal damage to a villain target, or deal damage to a hero target. Like if it just says deal damage to a target, you can choose any target in the game. So you always have the option of seeing that. So we'll do this to the plummeting monorail, and then we'll do it to Fanatic too. Why not?
Fanatic would be like, hit me harder.
All right, so we could get Absolution out.
It's probably the only useful thing. Except Zealous Offense. Definitely play Zealous Offense.
Zealous Offense.
Oh, and actually, because I discarded that other card, we might not be able to Sucker Punch down here. Geez, one too many hit points. I should have discarded a different card. It might not happen. It might be... oh, wait, Hypersonic Assault! Because I get to play 2 cards. Hypersonic Assault. And then Sucker Punch. For the beat down on Dawn. So let's look at that card before you play it.
All right, so Sucker Punch.
Just straight up destroy a target with 2 or fewer HP. Like, even if that target's immune to damage or anything like that, you can still destroy it. So that's what we're going to do.
Boom.
And there we are. Fade to Tachyon Red. And listen to the music. I can't hear it, so you can listen to it.
Wow, look at those HP counters for Dawn. Like, versus Dawn with everybody in, like, almost 20 or greater? That's craziness. That's crazy talk right there.
Well, Fnatic was over 20, and then we hit her.
Yeah, exactly.
For no reason.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, that's pretty cool. Well done, team.
Fade to rock. Thank you, Thunder Shoe. All right, so for those of you who are just joining us, you missed the whole game. But we were playing as Rook City Wraith, Fanatic, Super Scientific Tachyon, and the Visionary versus Citizen Dawn at Megalopolis. Throughout the course of this game, we asked some trivia questions, and Silverleaf79 will be our special guest player next week. She's got between now and then to choose the character she would like to play as. By the way, Silverleaf, I know that the promo cards are not in the wild yet, but if you would like to play as one of the promos, that is entirely up to you. You just let us know. Hopefully it will be in the wild by then. We're hoping to get this version out this week. But that might not be up to us. It is a holiday, and there are other things going on. A holiday in the United States.
Yeah, so next week will be a 3-player game, most likely. So it might be a little tougher for us, but we'll see.
All right, so, yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, I went to new game. Back.
You can see that nice pink flash again.
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, I guess that's a pretty solid stream. So that's not how a game against Citizen Dawn usually goes, in case you're wondering. She's one of the more difficult villains in Sentinels of the Multiverse. But as you can see, if you have characters like the Visionary and the Wraith that can help control the field of battle, you can do really well against a villain like that. If you don't have those kind of abilities, it can be even more difficult. So, like, you can easily get overwhelmed with citizens. Especially so, one thing we didn't really see because we kept sort of managing them. Why don't we go to the multiverse and look at her deck while we're chatting with this? A lot of her citizens combo together. So there's like Blood, Sweat, and Tears, or Hammer and Anvil, and Assault and Battery. And when both of those, or 3 of those citizens are out together, they have a combo effect. So I'm going to pull up Citizen Battery, or Assault and then Battery, or whatever. So if Citizen Battery is out, you can see he actually does extra damage. And some of the combos are really crippling, like discarding extra cards or destroying like all the ongoing cards that a hero has. So there's lots of badness that can happen. But yeah, so Citizen Dawn can be very difficult, but we took it to her. And
yeah, so what is it? Blood, Sweat, and Tears? That's the really, really devastating one,
so
right?
if you look at, and the thing is, the combo things, sort of, they have things that get worse when they're all in play.
Mm-hmm.
So Blood, Sweat, and Tears is pretty awful because you end up discarding 2 cards and, like, destroying all of your ongoing cards and doing a whole bunch of damage. But then, so there's the Truth and Dare. They actually cannot be out at the same time.
Yeah.
So if one of them's out, Citizen Truth is actually really bad because when he's out, you can only damage him. Citizen Dare comes out and makes him leave. So it's kind of interesting how those two work.
Indeed. All right, so tune in next week. We have now at this point played each villain, and we have played each environment. So next week we will be playing against another villain that we've already done. Maybe we'll play against one of the promo villains. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. We will see. Maybe we'll let our special guest pick.
Maybe we'll choose randomly.
We'll choose randomly.
We will do something.
We don't even know.
Yeah, hopefully by next week you guys will be able to play the version that you're seeing here with the promo cards and other cool updates. So onwards and upwards.
And I will just throw in a couple real quick things. Remember, if you have not yet, please give us a vote on Steam Greenlight. Just go to sentinelsdigital.com and follow the link to the Greenlight campaign from there. Please tell your friends. We are going to be ready to launch on Steam, whether Steam is ready for us or not. So it would behoove us to be ready and be greenlit at that point. I have no idea how long it takes to get greenlit, but we've been working at it for more than a month now. So anything you can do would be fantastic. And tell all your friends to come and check out the stream next week with special guest Silverleaf79. And with that, I think we'll say goodnight. Anything else you want to say there, John?
Toodles.
All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.